Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it's going to be a fun one because I had the opportunity to get a bunch of lemons for a juice I was making. And where there's lemons, there would be spectroscopy. And what I wanted to do was take advantage of the fact that I also had a rotten lemon and several good lemons. So I figured this would be a great time to do some sort of outlier testing. And I was quite surprised by the findings. So I'm going to bring you on that journey. I've already done all the analysis. So I'm really just going to walk you through the analysis and the surprise finding at the end. So I've got several libraries that I've imported: pandas, numpy, seaborn, matplotlib, the standard toolkit, plus my PCA and statistical for signal processing and further data analysis. Then a couple that might look less familiar. This is the ellipse and transforms, and this is for the hoteling t-squared. I've got a number of functions: my apply standard normal variate, apply statistical, and plot confidence ellipse. And so next we will then look at how we load and process the data, and all the data was collected on this Near-IR device. And with this, we're going to drop a couple of columns we don't need in the story, create our groups, the good and bad lemons, and then I will show you what the data table looks like at the very end. And now you can see we have a column called qual, where we have our bad lemon and our good lemons. We've restructured the data, so all of our analytical data is now found on the right. And we can now begin digging deeper into this data set. So the first thing we're going to do is just plot the data. What does this data actually look like? And I am showing all of the data. It's unprocessed, and we have spectrum 1 or lemon 1, and we have 6 other lemons. And so as you can see before, lemon 1 is the bad lemon, and these other lemons were the ones that looked good. So the next thing we need to do is now do some signal processing, and then let's do some multivariate analysis. So we will signal process with standard normal variate and statistical with a window length of 3 and a polynomial order of 1, and then we'll just plot that data. And when we do that process, we can see how the spectra come much closer together. We'll then take it a step further and perform PCA. And this is that multivariate technique, which is really great with this type of data where we've got a lot of variables, and we know those variables are likely to be highly correlated with each other. And so we can get a plot that looks like this. And if you want to see it, please pause the video to see the code. I'm really just focusing on the overall story. And here are the good lemons on the left side of this plot. We can see they cluster together with a lower PC1 score. And we have our bad lemon appearing as an obvious outlier with a high PC1 value. And visually, we can immediately say this is very different. Definitely by the time we do the PCA, even if it was maybe visible here, perhaps if you're an expert, you would have seen this change there. And so now let's incorporate the hoteling t-squared story, where I'm now going to compute a 95% ellipse around just the good sample. So just the points that were labeled as good. And when we do this and compute the covariance from the scores data, so now I'm taking my PCA scores data frame, and I'm going to compute the mean and covariance within that group, and now plot that data. You see we now get this hoteling ellipse around these points here. And the thing that was really interesting to me is that these points 3, 7, 4, 5, and 6 all although they scatter along PC2, they're fairly tight in the PC1 domain, and point 2 here is on the edge of this ellipse. And the remarkable find for me was that the next day when I went to go look at that lemon, it had actually rotten. So this lemon here was on its way to looking like this particular outlier. And so although visually this lemon looked good and probably was good enough for the juice I made, it definitely was within a few hours of going bad. And so that is the benefit of being able to combine analytical expertise and data science expertise to look for interesting insights, to come to those conclusions much faster, and perhaps deliver the business in a new way. In any case, I hope you liked that story. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.